Imagine this.
Moments after tweeting, "Success is not an accident," Ronaldo walks onto the stage. No football boots, no jersey, just a mic in his hand and fire in his eyes. The crowd is silent.
Cameras flashing.
He looks at his fans and says, "People keep saying success comes by chance.
But I'm here to tell you, nothing about my life, my journey, or my success happened by accident." And with that line,
he begins one of the most powerful speeches of his life. Not as a footballer,
but as a man who built his destiny through sweat, pain,
and relentless belief. 9% of people fail,
and only 0.1% succeed, Ronaldo began, his tone sharp, confident, and calm. The kind of calm that comes from someone who has lived every word he's about to say. You know why? Because most people love the sound of success, but not the silence that comes before it. The audience leaned forward. Every word felt carved out of experience. Success is not an accident. It's not luck, not a miracle, not some divine favor that falls into your lap. It's built, brick by brick, hour by hour, choice by choice. The difference between the 99.9% and the 0.1% is simple. One group wishes, the other works.
One complains, the other commits. One says, "Maybe tomorrow," and the other says, "Right now." He paused, scanning the room. The kind of pause that forces you to listen deeper. When I was a kid in Madeira, we didn't have much.
No luxury, no spotlight, just a small island, a small ball, and a big dream. Every night, I would look at the sky and promise myself, one day the world will know my name. But dreams don't pay for your legacy, work does. I woke up before sunrise. I trained while others slept. I played when my body screamed to stop. That's what separates the 0.1%. It's not talent, it's obsession. It's that burning hunger that doesn't let you rest until you've earned your place. He smiled slightly, remembering something only he could truly understand.
You see, people think success is this glamorous thing. The cars, the applause, the money, the fame.
But what they don't see are the nights when you go home after a loss, shut the door, and stare at yourself in the mirror asking, "Did I give everything?"
Most people don't like that version of themselves.
They avoid it. I faced it every day, because that's where growth lives. In the uncomfortable conversations you have with yourself when no one's cheering for you. Ronaldo stepped closer to the edge of the stage, his voice deepening.
The truth is, the 99.9% are scared. Scared of failing, scared of being judged, scared of giving everything, and still not making it. But the 0.1%? They're not fearless.
They just act despite the fear. I felt fear too. Before big matches, I felt it. But fear is not your enemy. It's your compass.
It tells you what matters.
The only way out is through it. Every goal I scored, every record I broke, came from moments when fear was loud, but my belief was louder. He took a breath, slow, deliberate, then continued, his tone now softer, almost reflective. When I train, it's not just my body working. It's my mind. I'm building focus, discipline, identity.
You don't rise to the level of your dreams.
You fall to the level of your habits.
The 99.9% wake up when the alarm rings.
The 0.1% wake up before it.
The 99.9% wait for motivation.
The 0.1% build it through action. You can't expect greatness from average effort. Every repetition, every sprint, every recovery, it all counts. People call me a machine.
But I'm not a machine. I'm a man who refused to stop when it got painful. He looked out over the audience. Young players, dreamers, people who wanted to know the secret.
You want to know what greatness feels like? It feels like sacrifice.
It feels like saying no to comfort, no to distraction, no to excuses.
While others chase temporary pleasure, you chase permanent legacy. That's the difference. That's why I said, success is not an accident.
You can't stumble into greatness.
You have to earn it every single day. The lights dimmed slightly. His voice grew deeper, slower, every word landing with weight. I've played for years under pressure. Billions of eyes watching. Critics waiting for one mistake.
You learn fast that pressure doesn't break you.
It builds you. It teaches you how to stay calm in chaos.
How to move with purpose when everyone else is panicking.
The 99.9% crumble under pressure because they never prepared for it. They never train the mind, only the body. But if you train your mind to stay strong when it hurts, no one can stop you. He straightened up, eyes fierce now.
People tell me I'm a Cristiano, you're lucky. I smile.
Luck? Luck is what lazy people call someone else's discipline.
I don't rely on luck. I rely on work.
I rely on structure.
I rely on the hours I've already put in when no one was watching.
That's why when I walk on the field, I'm calm, because I know I've already paid the price in sweat, in silence, in sacrifice. The room was quiet, not out of boredom, but reverence. So, when I say 99.9% fail, it's not because they're not capable, it's because they choose comfort over challenge, ego over evolution, short-term pleasure over long-term pride. They scroll, they dream, they talk, but they don't do. The 0.1% wake up and do. Every day.
Even when it's boring.
Especially when it's boring.
Because greatness is built in the boring. He smiled again, that signature half grin that said he wasn't just preaching. He'd lived every syllable.
You don't need to be me. You don't need to be a footballer. But if you want to be great in anything, start acting like one.
Be the first to show up.
Be the last to leave.
Be obsessed with the process.
Because when you love the process, the results take care of themselves. That's what the 0.1% understand. Ronaldo's voice dropped lower, almost like he was talking to one person, not a crowd. Maybe people will laugh at you.
They laughed at me too, when I was a skinny kid running around Madeira saying I'd be the best in the world.
They said I was crazy.
But crazy is what winners look like before they win. Don't let their small vision limit your big dream.
If you believe, then work until belief becomes reality. He took a step back, gaze sweeping across the crowd. So, I'll say it again, he said, a hint of fire returning to his tone. Success is not an accident. It's a decision you make every single day. When you're tired, when you're doubting, when no one's watching. You either choose average or you choose greatness.
There's no middle ground.
You want to be part of the 0.1%? Then stop being comfortable. Get obsessed. Be relentless.
Make the world remember your name.
I made that tweet. Success is not an accident. Because too many people keep telling themselves a lie.
They say, he's just lucky. They say,
he was born for it. They say, some people just have it easy. Let me tell you something. There's no such thing as accidental greatness. The audience went quiet again.
You could almost hear the sound of breathing, every word cutting through the silence. People love to romanticize success.
They want to believe it just happens. Like one day the universe picks you, and suddenly everything works out. But that's not how life plays out. Success is not an event.
It's a process.
It's a war. It's 1,000 unseen battles you fight with yourself when no one's watching. He leaned forward slightly, his voice steady but personal.
When I hear people say I was lucky, I smile. Because they never saw the nights I slept on training benches.
They never saw the tears. They never saw a 12-year-old boy leave his family, move to another city, alone, chasing a dream that everyone called impossible.
That's not luck. That's pain turned into purpose. He looked up toward the lights, as if remembering those early days in Madeira.
I made that tweet because I want people to stop waiting for luck. Luck is just another word for someone else's effort. You can't control destiny, but you can control dedication.
You can't control what talent you're born with, but you can control how much of your soul you pour into your work.
That's what people don't get. They see the trophies and think, he was meant for this. No, I worked for this. I suffered for this. I bled for this. His voice grew firmer now, echoing with conviction.
The truth is, life doesn't give you what you want.
It gives you what you're willing to fight for. People say success is about luck or timing. No, timing means nothing if you're not prepared when your moment comes. You can get one chance in your life, just one. And if you're not ready, it passes. I was ready because I never stopped preparing. Even when I didn't see results, even when people doubted me, even when I doubted myself, I kept going. He took a step back, spreading his arms slightly, as if addressing every person individually.
Everyone wants the glory, but not everyone can handle the grind.
You want to be successful?
Be ready to be misunderstood.
Be ready to be alone.
Be ready to lose friends who don't understand your hunger.
Be ready to wake up when it's dark, tired, sore, and still give your best. That's what makes success real, because when you earn it, nobody can take it away from you. His tone softened for a moment, slower, reflective.
I've seen people with more talent than me quit. I've seen people with more potential disappear because they believed success would just happen. That's the biggest lie of all.
Success doesn't happen to you. You happen to success.
You chase it down.
You grab it by the throat. You earn it day after day. That's why I tweeted what I did. Because I'm tired of seeing people underestimate the power of effort. The audience applauded quietly, but Ronaldo raised his hand, signaling for silence. I don't say this for applause. I say this because I want you to understand. Every record I broke, every title I won, every goal I scored, they weren't accidents. They were intentions. They were choices. Every shot I took in practice when nobody cared built the confidence for the goals the world remembers. Every gym session, every ice bath, every sleepless night, every tear. That's what success looks like before the cameras show up. He smiled, a rare, genuine smile. You think I wake up every morning excited?
No. Some days I wake up tired.
Some days I don't want to move.
But I still show up.
That's the difference. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is forever.
You can't rely on mood. You rely on mission.
The 99.9% live for the weekend. The 0.1% live for the legacy. Then, his voice deepened again, and his accent sharpened slightly, giving weight to every word.
Do you know why people think success is luck?
Because they only see the surface. They see me lift the trophy. They don't see the 10,000 hours that built that moment. They see the smile. They don't see the self-doubt. They see the celebration. They don't see the sacrifices. People want the story, but not the struggle.
But success doesn't exist without struggle. Struggle is the foundation. Struggle builds strength. Struggle teaches you who you are. He looked at the crowd, his expression soft but intense. When you fail, it's not the end. It's the beginning. Every failure is feedback.
Every setback is a setup for your comeback. That's how I think. That's how I live. So, when people call it luck, I just smile, because I know they haven't seen the climb. They haven't felt the weight. They haven't carried the dream on their shoulders when it felt impossible. He took a short pause, then continued with that same controlled passion. I've played for the biggest clubs. I've won the biggest titles. And still, I never think I've made it. Because success is rented, and the rent is due every day. You can't live off yesterday's victory.
You have to earn it again.
Every match, every day, every morning. That's what keeps me hungry.
That's why I'm still here. He turned slightly, looking off stage for a moment, then back at the audience. You want to know the real meaning of success?
It's peace.
It's knowing you gave everything.
It's walking away from a day and saying, I did my best. It's not the fame, not the followers, not the money.
Those fade. What stays is character.
What stays is how you made people feel, how you carried yourself when nobody believed. Success is not an accident. It's a decision, a commitment, a way of life. He took a deep breath, calm, proud, grounded. So when I tweeted those words, I wasn't just talking to the world. I was talking to that 12-year-old boy in Madeira who used to cry because he missed home. I was talking to the version of myself that almost gave up. I was reminding him, and every person listening today, that nothing comes easy, but everything is possible. You just have to decide who you want to be, the 99.9% who quit, or the 0.1% who rise. The crowd stood, applause echoing through the hall. But Ronaldo just smiled, nodded once and said, Remember, success is not an accident. It's not destiny. It's discipline. He dropped the mic lightly, waved to the fans, and walked off stage, leaving behind not just a message, but a mindset.